Welcome, everyone, to the Flower Files podcast sponsored by Wildly Native Flower Farm. Here, everyone is welcome to talk with fellow flower lovers, including real perspectives from the farm, the flowers, and me, the florist.
From the messy day-to-day operations down to the details and even business perspectives, this podcast has a little bit of everything to keep it real. We know that life can get crazy and we don't always have the time to spend on what we love, so we are here to help you take a little time to indulge in nature. I'm Liza Getz.
I'm Lizzie Frey, and we are the team that makes this podcast. Every once in a while, we have a couple guests, this business thing, and what we are working with is called life.
Join us as we walk you through how to think outside the box, talk from the farmer's perspective, have honest conversations about florals, and how to run, well, life. So listen in.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, in the podcast section, and any of your other podcast platforms. You can also find us online at wildlynativeflowerfarm.com, and in an easy way, you can look in the show notes, and all of the information will be right there for easy access for you guys.
Well, hey there, flower fam. Welcome back to the Flower Files, where we pull back the curtain on the business of blooms. I'm Liza, your favorite flower farmer and truth teller, and today we're diving into something juicier than a cafe au lait dahlia in July, the art of product launches. So there have been quite a few folks who have asked me, how did you get started? How did you start selling things? How have you launched into these different products? And let's be real, you're at the farmer's market. We can have the best bouquet, the most brilliant course, the most fragrant floral salt. But if you don't know how to launch it right, you're basically whispering in a hurricane or in a thunderstorm. So today we're talking strategy, energy, and psychology, all the good stuff. And I have spent countless hours taking countless courses. And this stuff isn't just about making a pretty Instagram post. It's all about selling with soul and maybe a little swagger. So let's go. Okay, so we're going to start with basically a little tough love, why most product launches flop. So, why does this happen? And why am I calling this out right away? It's because we have done this. And I want to tell you all the things that we have done and the things that we have struggled with. And we've been so excited about a new idea or a new thing on Etsy or a new product or something. And we're so excited. And we put it out there and it's crickets, literally crickets. Because people think launching is putting something on Etsy, crossing their fingers, or dropping a post like, hey, my course is live, link in bio, and there's nothing. But here's the thing, a launch isn't just an announcement, it's kind of like a performance, really. It's a buildup and maybe a little seduction in there. You're not selling a product, you're selling a possibility and the transformation. Because no one wants a flower calendar. They want a moment of calm in their kitchen every morning. No one wants another course. They want to stop feeling stuck and start making money. And your job is to make them feel that. So, for those of you who remember your college days or maybe high school, we won't talk about that. But you need to pregame. So, you need to pregame is the game. And this is basically the warm up before the wow. So great launches start weeks before you ever say buy now. You build hype, you build anticipation, and you build a lot of curiosity. And you have to be a good listener because you may have this fantastic idea, this wonderful thing, this amazing product, and it may not be to your target audience. You may not have it set up correctly. You have to listen to what people want. So when you build that hype, anticipation, and curiosity, here's what that looks like. You're telling a story. This product changed the way I, or you're asking for input. Which label do you love more? You share behind the scenes because let me tell you what, behind the scenes is where it's at and that is awful English. My dad would have just hollered at me for that English. But behind the scenes is definitely where the details are because here's how we messed up the first version and why this one is perfect. Or you can drop a hint. Something magical is coming next week. You're teasing the drop like it's almost like something you would see on Netflix or on TikTok, even where you see, I always get sucked into those like partial parts of movies. I'm like, oh my gosh, what movie is that? I've definitely watched plenty of movies because of that. So it's not a clearance sale, it's a trailer. So make sure your audience feels like an insider and not just a follower. I want you and your people and everyone that you're trying to work with to have a reason to care before you give them a reason to buy. I think the next part that's really important is that launch window and having that energy. And you've got the launch zone. And this is like the Super Bowl. So you've got your pregame and now you've got your Super Bowl. There's a lot of steps in between there, but you've got 5 to 7 days to go completely in. And this is where most people, I feel like this is where they really play small. And I'm going to say it, if you're scared of annoying people, you're not ready to sell. If Beyonce can post 6 times a day to promote an album, you can talk about your bouquet drop twice. So think about how many times you've seen things, looked at things. Think about the number of times that people have posted and you've missed it. So it took me a really, really, really long time to be comfortable with this, to understand how stories work compared to actual posts and all the different methods. The algorithm is this like living, breathing thing that you have to understand to a certain extent, but you also have to understand you and yourself and what you're comfortable with and post, post, post. Just get that information out there because people are going to miss it. So during your launch week, you want to go live, you want to post testimonials, you want to share transformations, you want to talk about your personal why. Why does it matter? And the psychology behind one of the pieces is adding some urgency, limited spots, early bird bonuses, countdowns, things like that. It triggers something in your brain to be like, "Ooh, I need to pay attention to that." It's the energy that sells. And if you're not excited, no one else is going to be excited either. Okay. Pricing, bonuses, and scarcity. So now you're in the Super Bowl and you're playing the game. So let's talk about psychology. People don't always buy because they're ready. They buy because they don't want to miss out. And here's why. Bonuses work, early bird pricing works, and countdown timers work. But here's the edge. Only do this if it's true. No fake scarcity. People smell BS a mile away. Instead, offer real reasons to act now. The workshop only runs once a year. Only 25 flower subscription spots this season. Get the bonus masterclass if you buy by Friday. Real urgency, real value, real conversions, real conversation, real from the heart from you. And that's what's important. And I feel like when it comes to sales, sales are service. If you feel weird selling, listen up. Sales isn't slimy. It's a service. Because if they're not purchasing from you, they're going to be purchasing from someone else somewhere else. And if your product makes someone's life better, if it's your art, your flowers, your knowledge, your passion, you owe it to them to talk about it boldly. You're not bothering people, you're inviting them to bloom. No pun intended. Well, maybe. And you're not being pushy, you're being a guide. And maybe you're helping somebody hear something that they didn't know that they needed to hear. You're not selling out, you're stepping up. And maybe your example will help somebody else. So, your post launch power plays. The launch doesn't end when that cart closes. This is where most creators ghost their audience, and they don't even mean to. But the real pros, that's when they lean in. They thank every buyer publicly. They share results, feedback, and behind the scenes. And they talk to the list of people to share for what's next, because the next launch starts the day this one ends. You're building trust, you're building brand, and you're building momentum. If this episode lit a fire under you, I want to hear from you. I want you to screenshot the episode, tag me on Instagram, either Wildly Native Flower Farm or the Flower Files, and tell me, what are you launching next? And if you're ready to launch something big, I would love to hear what you're doing, how it's working for you. So tell me what you're doing. I'm always curious. So until next time, stay wildly native, stay wildly you, and go sell with soul.
Hey guys, just dropping a line to tell you about Patreon.
So I asked them, meaning Mom and Amber, what is Patreon anyway? Because I honestly had no idea. So we're going to explain it to you from our perspective so that you understand and so that I understand.
Because the first time I saw it, I was like, Patron, we're drinking tequila? Great. So Patreon is for less than a cup of coffee, those fancy coffees that y'all like, a day, you can sign up to become one of our members.
A little family.
Exactly. And what does that get us?
It gets us some freebies, some special episodes that other people do not get access to. You can interact with us on a special platform where we can ask you questions and interact with you. It's tons of fun.
Mm-hmm. And even on those special episodes, we might be less censored than we are already. And we're going to have a couple fun ones that we can just kind of throw in there and talk about and laugh and go on tangents and have fun. So I hope that you all enjoy it because we're going to have fun along the way. We're crazy, crazy, crazy excited.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Back to the episode now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Gracias.